Hello, good evening, afternoon, morning, night, depending on when you're looking at this webinar. Welcome. There are certain truths that we just cannot ignore. I want to start with two of them in the form of quotations from the late, great Jim Rohn, a powerful motivational speaker who we kind of adopted as a virtual mentor. One is, your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. And following that, for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. For things to improve, you have to improve. When you grow, everything in your life grows with you. And growth, in fact, growing to the top is what we're about. We strive to grow into the best versions of ourselves while we encourage others to do the same. Specific to this webinar, though, is a look at taking care of one aspect of that growth process, financial security. This presentation is about options or showing possibilities for you to create a financial success plan so you can have security and freedom in your upcoming years. It's about a very special type of income system that we hope offers some food for thought about how you could generate income. Be sure to stick around for the end, as we also want to share with you the specific source for this kind of income that we are using. It just may be something that resonates for you as well. Before we continue, we just want to share a little bit about who we are. My name is Hyacinth Vanderpool, and I'm here with my husband.
Hi, I'm John Vanderpool. We have actually been married for 47 years. We have no children. We used to be school teachers for more than 20 years, first in our birth country of Trinidad and Tobago, then a few years here in New Jersey. And we still think of ourselves as teachers, only now we teach others like ourselves whose goal is to make tomorrow better than today. A significant part of that goal is the pursuit of freedom in all its forms. So, is freedom important to you? As we get into this webinar, it will become clearer why we ask that question, and we'll take a look at what we mean by freedom in this context a little later on.
So let's get into it. Let's start with a look at income generation. What comes to your mind with those words? When we think of generating income, would it be fair to say that what we've become used to is linear income, where we exchange hours for dollars? That's what we were taught and encouraged to strive for while we were growing up. Go to school, learn well, get those grades, get those good grades. Then as an adult, we get a good job. And then we get a job where we work for 40-hour week and we get paid for those 40 hours. If we work for 10 hours, we get paid for 10 hours and so on. Let's switch gears on this webinar though and talk about a different kind of income. Let's look at an alternative called residual income. We'll talk about what that term means. Some examples of residual income at work, how it benefits those of us who create it, and we'll also show you one option that we're working on to create it that you could use as well, so you can secure your financial future if you so choose. Before we get to that though, let's get back to that question we mentioned earlier. Is freedom important to you? Here, we're talking primarily about financial freedom, yes. But even more importantly, it's about the quality of the freedom that can open up for your life when you are financially free in the special way that's possible only with residual income. Freedom to be, freedom to do, freedom to have in ways you couldn't before. So if total freedom is important to you, you would probably enjoy the benefits of residual income. We like to call it freedom income. It's called by other names as well, depending on the income producing venture used to generate it. Names such as royalties, franchise fees, commissions, passive income, recurring income, and so on. So what exactly is residual income? How about
How about
while
earning
not
money while not
you're
actually
not
working? You are not on the clock per se. Hmm? Let's not get carried away though. Money that is referred to as residual income is not by any means instant gratification money. It comes after you have put in work, usually a lot of work, as well as time and energy in a venture. Once the work is done, however, the common factor here, and what's great about it, is you continue to get paid on that work for a long time, even years after the work is done. So let's talk for a moment about some examples of this. Collecting royalties. A singer introduces a song that becomes a hit. That's a one-time production. But whenever that song is played or it gets used in any way, even years after, that singer gets paid. Even after death, those royalties go to the singer's estate. The same thing goes for a writer. He or she writes a book that becomes a bestseller. That's a one-time thing. But whenever a copy is sold, that writer or the writer's estate gets paid. Even working online offers ways to earn this kind of residual income. There are opportunities for writers of articles who can post on sites like Bookisa. You can create ebooks and publish through Amazon or sell as PDFs through online marketplaces such as ClickBank and others. And there's no limit to the topics you can write about.
franchises? The owners of franchises collect residual income as well. A company decides to duplicate itself and offer a franchise opportunity. There are popular franchises in many industries. In fast foods, for example, there's McDonald's. In real estate, there's Exit Realty. In travel, you have some in travel and hospitality, in cleaning and maintenance, in education, in senior care, and the list goes on. Feel free to do the research. There are some great sites. Just Google top franchise opportunities, and you can find info about what's available, startup costs, and so on. So in that scenario, there's opportunity for someone who wants to become a business owner to duplicate an already successful model and then pay the parent company for being able to do that. So that sale takes place once, then the parent company gets franchise fees for the life of the franchise.
Then we have...
Robert Kiyosaki, author of the iconic book Rich Dad Poor Dad, said, "The richest people in the world build networks. Everyone else is trained to look for work." There's a business model used by some network marketing, used by some companies that bring the concept of building networks to life. So what happens is within a company such as this, an independent entrepreneur would work with the company and get the opportunity or the option to build a network that helps with the distribution of that company's products or services. You earn residual income called commissions from the efforts of that network as long as your team remains involved. So you build the team once and you continue to get paid.
Then we have rental units. Another example is owning rental property. That purchase is a one-time transaction. Once it's rented out though, the income from it starts coming in over and over for the life of the property. Then we have investing in investment programs. Over time, investing in investment programs can yield interest. That's passive income, and at a certain level, arrangements may be made to pay out at specific intervals.
Then there's Social Security. That's a little different in that it's not about the completion of one transaction or venture as with the others. In this case, it takes almost a lifetime of years. If we look at it as one transaction, we have to call it your work years. For those years, you work and you contribute to the insurance program called a Social Security. It's an excellent example of residual income. You do the work, it takes some time, some years, but once it's done, you would have paid your dues, and at the end of that transaction, you get paid over and over again. That is one source of residual income that we can all look forward to, hopefully. Another difference is that the amount received from Social Security is fixed. With some of the other options, you determine how much you want to receive, and that we will talk about in just a little while when we identify the benefits of creating residual income. So that was a sampling of examples whereby you can create residual income. Of course, there are others to choose from as well, and you're free to set up multiple income streams if you wish. Understand though, the potential income from these options does vary considerably, as does the startup cost. Some of them yield a small income, others much, much more, even enough to make you financially independent as possible. But once it's residual, large or small, you know it's consistent. And there is comfort in knowing that with absolute certainty, a specific sum of money will be deposited into your bank on a particular day every month, even after you've done the work. That's a key distinction with residual income. And that takes us to how residual income can benefit you.
We just talked about consistency. Once everything is established, you have the comfort and security of knowing that your money will be there even if you weren't around. Early on, as we talked about Social Security income payments being fixed, we mentioned having the option with residual income to determine how much you want to receive. That's possible because many residual income systems are scalable. So it's possible to increase your income by scaling up your efforts so you can work your way to the ceiling you set for yourself. This feature will be helpful too in keeping up with the increasing cost of living.
Can you remember the cost of a loaf of bread 5 years ago or a carton of milk? You'll see that these basic items are more today due to cost of living increases. However, if, for example, you're getting Social Security, your payments haven't increased at the same rate. So the money you're receiving now is buying less today than it would have 5 years ago. This hardship is not much different with regular income. The Pay Scale Index, a formula from the Seattle-based salary comparison site, reported that there was a 1.3% decline in real wages since the end of 2017, and that is after adjustments for cost of living increases. There's the real fear that paychecks are not keeping up with the cost of living. If there's no supplement to your income, no buffer, you'll find yourself being able to afford less and less as time goes by, because the cost of living always rises, typically going up and up at a rate that surpasses any increase in our income, Social Security or otherwise. A residual income boost with its scalability factor offers an option for you to create a solid financial plan to provide a buffer as needed, offering you security and freedom during retirement.
Then we have paying off student loans. That's another one of those niggling burdens that many people bear. In his blog entitled 4 Budgeting Tips to Become Rich in 2019, financial guru Robert Kiyosaki's third tip is acquire assets to pay for liabilities. You can choose to create a residual income stream so you have the means to get rid of that pesky debt. It's certainly an option.
Preparing for retirement, very important one. This is one that's particularly dear to our hearts. Quality of life as we grow older will depend on our ability to generate residual income for many of the reasons stated before. And especially because, like many others, according to statistics, we are not adequately prepared financially for old age. Statistics show that at age 65, 5% of people are deceased, with 5% being well off, 36% still working, and a whopping 54% dependent on family members for support. So for us, it's about creating a nest egg that will allow us to support ourselves should we live to a ripe old age. What about you?
Living a life of freedom. A significant benefit of having a kind of income that doesn't require your constant attention is the freedom to take care if you or your family member becomes ill or you have other unexpected situations that might normally mean having to lose pay. You can be free to go about taking care of situations as they come up and not have to worry that your income will stop coming in. Also, you are not limited by geography. Your income continues no matter where you are or where you go. You are not tied to any particular location. So a huge benefit to residual income lies in the freedom you get inside of that structure.
Okay. Maybe you should stop.
Yeah.
Slides are way up, away from us. We're about 2 slides up ahead.